Welcome back to RealVacantLand.com. This is Luke Smith. I've got another property for you. This one is about halfway between Los Angeles and Las Vegas. I got the numbers up here. Well, this way, 2 hours to Los Angeles, 2.5 hours to Las Vegas. This is the actual picture of the property in the background. There's a little road that goes up to the property, and actually, this road over here goes to the property, and this one goes somewhere else. But this is just approaching the property. Let's jump into it. Take a look at this one. It's San Bernardino County. I'm asking $49,000. It's 80 acres. It's a really big property. 80 acres of land in San Bernardino County. I'll pull up the maps. I'll show you where this thing is at. So there's a road that goes through the property, and I think some people use this road for off-roading, exploring, checking out the hinterlands and things. But we're not very far away from the major roads without having to be like right up in your face. This is Interstate 40 just north of the property here. So Interstate 40 is a major freeway that breaks out of Barstow. It starts in Barstow and goes to like the Atlantic Ocean, like Atlanta or something. I think it goes to Atlanta. If you know where the 40 goes, I mean, put it in the comments below. But I think it's Atlanta, maybe beyond. So Barstow is here. And Barstow, if you take the 15 down, you get to Los Angeles or further down. I mean, it goes through the backside of Los Angeles down to San Diego, down to the Mexican border, really. So that's that one. Then it goes up to Las Vegas, and I think it goes to Salt Lake City beyond that and further from there. So Barstow is a major thoroughfare for truckers. Like a lot of trucks come through here, semi-trucks come through here. They're hauling goods out of Port of Los Angeles or Port of Long Beach, I should say, for the most part, bringing them up the mountain here. And there's train tracks and loading and unloading, offloading distribution centers to move goods all over the country from here. And so this route goes a couple different ways. This property is near there, and it's just off the Interstate 40, just south of the 40. So it's not very far away from Barstow at all. I mean, 6, 7, 8 miles. There's a Walmart, gas stations, grocery stores, car parts, supplies, all those kinds of things in Barstow. So there's supplies to build your home, maintain your home, live a good lifestyle. There's Starbucks right there as well. So this property, I mean, there's an exit here. If we look at the freeway, it's called, I'm going to forget the name of the exit. So here's the exit. It's called, I should know the name of this exit. It's the name of this valley right over here. And I've owned land in that valley. Daggett. It's a Daggett exit in the county of Daggett. So I should know it. So if we get back up here on the freeway, you'll see Barstow over there, a bunch of big distribution centers and things. And you can see all the semis going back and forth on the 40 headed towards, I think it's Flagstaff is up next. Needles, Flagstaff, that kind of stuff. These hills on the other side of the valley over here is Calico. Calico is now a ghost town, and it's marketed as a ghost town. It's right off the freeway, the 15 freeway, which is the other side of this valley. So this is where the freeway is split. So you got the freeway over here, and it goes right by that ghost town. And in a former life, that thing was owned by Pan American Silver and Ross Beatty and the group. It was an old silver antimony mine that turned into a ghost town. Now they rent it out as a ghost town. They've got great Halloween shows, and there's restaurants, bars. Just they rebuilt the town, and they turned it into a tourist trap of a town, right? So if you're driving through, it's a fun stop. You get some really neat looking rocks, all kinds of morphed rocks, metamorphic rocks. I mean, cooked, curled, goofy rocks in there that help concentrate the metals. So we're taking the exit off the freeway here, off the 40, and here's the historic Route 66 it's talking about. So as we drive off the freeway here, this would be the Daggett exit. The little camera guy, you can see him in the shadow here. So we get up to the road, and we're gonna go. It's Nebo Street. We're gonna turn right. I don't think anybody actually turns right here because it's the middle of nowhere, right? But if we turn right here, I guess we're following somebody. We get out here, and this is the countryside. Big, wide open countryside. And there's a lot of military in the area because there's a large distribution center for storage and distribution center for military goods. And now I'm wondering where we're at. I lost my location. So let's go back to the map. But basically, if you go off of here, I meant to go off and around, okay, it's called Pendleton Road, Ord Mountain Road. I wanted to show you this Ord Mountain Road. So we just drove off this exit and then we got lost somewhere with the camera guy. But eventually, if we got over here, there's a for sale sign, 11 acres. There you go. So this is Ord Road. Ord is gold, right? Like, it's a mining road. Gold Road. Spanish or Latin, I'm not sure. This is the road out to the property. So here's the turnoff, and it's straight, wide open, go for it kind of road. Somebody grades this thing once upon a time, and I think it's because there's power lines out here. They maintain the route to the power lines, and so it's probably the power line company or combination of power line company and somebody maintaining it. You can see the tracks, people driving off here. Most people turning this way, not that many people turning that way. But the cameraman didn't go out there. Maybe they didn't think their Toyota Prius would make it, or I don't know. But they didn't go out there. And looks like this guy might have just come from that direction. Or maybe he was just turning around because we're just following him. But so if you followed this road out and back up the base of these hills back here is where the property is. So if we zoom out and remember, so we're just here and we're looking down Ord Mountain Road, this really straight road. So if we take this really straight road out, eventually it crosses another one, and that's where we're going to split off, and that's where we have this picture in the background. So this picture in the background here, this is the split. So when you get to that split, you're going to want to go, I'm going to mix up which direction, but it's this road here. You're going to want to go this road here, and when you're driving out there, it's going to be on your right. It's going to be your right, yeah. So you're driving out this way, and you're going to stick to the right side of that split. And don't go left. I don't know where that goes, but the right one goes out here to the property. And so it starts getting a little curvy because it starts to get up the hill, and then it curves some more as it goes up the hill. So it's right at the base of this hill. So if I switch it back, well, I got my face on the screen. So let me switch it back. So this is the intersection you're going to go right on. From Ord Mountain, it skips over to Unnamed Road. And then so we're going to follow this unnamed road to the property, and you see where it starts doing little bits of turns. It starts going up the hill little by little, and then it does some bigger turns. It's going up the hill more. So before you start getting into those up the hill turns, you're going to be on the property. So let's turn this back to satellite, and we're going to take a look at this. So the road comes up here, and it's coming across, and then just as you're getting into the foothills, it starts wiggling and going up. So this road is following a power line. There's a power line through here. I don't know if you can see it very well. Let's see if I can get the, let's see if we can do 3D on it. And take a look. So whoever maintains the power line is keeping this road going. So you got a road to the property that you can use. Okay. So it does this whole area in here is going to be the property. And if you see these little splatches next to it, it's because the power line is running over there. The road is trying to follow it, but it's not exactly following the power line. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah, so it says Daggett in the background there. So just here at the bottom, this is going to be the property. This whole area in here is the property. And you can see this road going back out this way towards the freeway. The freeway's here in the background. Daggett's just the other side of the freeway. And then the other side of the valley, you've got the old ghost town, the mining ghost town. Or is that it? Sorry, I pointed at the wrong one. This is it here. This is closer. This is the colorful hills. There are colorful hills in the background there too. Okay, so back to the property. Let's see if we can look around. So there's a little bit of a hill there. But you can see the power line coming through here, and then the road going through there. we'll look at it from the other direction. Okay, so just as you're starting up into these foothills, and before it does this big turn, this is all your property. Let's take a look at the land over here on the other screen, where we've got the lot lines. So right now I've got it upside down on the other screen, but see, before it does this big turn, while it's doing this straight stuff, and as it cuts across, you're on the property. So let's go back to the so this whole area is your property. As it cuts across, and while it's along there, so you're gonna get some downs, some ups. There's a little bit of a hill there, and you can get some views. And the power line runs along this route here. So there's a power line running along. You can kind of see it down here, just over my shoulder. Here's the road coming up. They've got different cuts off to the side to let the water out, so it doesn't make like just a channel. So that's what it looks like in the satellite imagery. And I pulled it up in the county maps, and the county maps, they've got this new website. I've never been on this website before. This is San Bernardino County's new zoning lookup website. And so you can look up the zoning. I used to have to call them on the phone and ask them, what's the zoning? What's the zoning? What's the zoning? You know? But now you can look it up online. So you can look it up online. It says resource conservation. So I looked up resource conservation, and I've had numerous different resource conservation properties in San Bernardino County in the past. And so I know a bit about what you can and can't do in those zoning, because people are always asking me, Luke, can I do this? Can I do that? So I call the county and I ask, I keep calling and asking, and I get back to the people that are asking and say, the county says this and the county says that. So this is RC. This is a list. This is a table of all the different kinds of zoning things they have in San Bernardino County. So RC is under the chunk here that are a bunch of agricultural and resource management land use and zoning districts. So agricultural, to me, agricultural means a lot more freedom because if it's down here under the next box, residential, that's what most of the properties are, and that's where the neighbors want you to build something that looks like a house. They don't want you to build a barn and then move your something into the barn to live in, or get more creative and logical about it. They want you to follow the path of normalcy and square windows, square garage door, and all that standard stuff, right? Which you're probably going to do anyway, but you don't want the rules to have to be there to tell you to do it in case you want to do something different. Like if you go in the commercial, you can usually get away with all kinds of stuff, and industrial, you can really get away with all kinds of stuff, like cooking up chemicals, make your own dynamite. I don't know, get creative, right? Still need some permits and things, but the zoning will allow you to do all kinds of stuff. And so a lot of people are asking, what kind of land can I do whatever on? Well, pay up, get some industrial, get some commercial. But most people don't want to pay for it, so they end up looking at the residential and requesting the commercial and industrial kinds of priced land for the rules, but they don't look at agricultural. I mean, agricultural has some of the biggest lobbying groups in the country, and farmers like to get away with all kinds of things, like multiple people living on their property to help them with their crops, and they like to make noise, like to make dust, they like to make stink, they like to have loud animals, they like to all that kind of stuff that goes along with farming, which I think is great and is cool and is awesome. And so when you get into agricultural properties, you got that whole farming lobby on your side, pushing to keep the rules and regulations open and easy as possible. So this property is part of the agricultural set of zoning, and under agricultural you've got RC. RC stands for resource conservation. Resource conservation sounds very conservative, but it's not. I mean, so here's all I pulled up the zoning stuff in San Bernardino County. Look at this suckers, 1,135 pages of bureaucraticness. And I don't know what page this is. Page 83. Okay, so page 83 of it starts talking about what you can do on these properties. And then it gets into more details further on down the list from there. So if you go look up San Bernardino County Planning and Zoning, you'll eventually run into this document. This is the like Bible of what you can and can't do. So remember the RC from the previous screen. I looked up RC, resource conservation. And this section is called allowed land uses and permit requirements. And it's I'm gonna change the screen here because there's a bunch of little stuff in the background. It's too hard to see, so you're just gonna have to trust me. It's over my head here. So allowed land uses and permit requirements. So RC, this is the stuff that's allowed. So they've got a guide at the bottom of this, and A is allowed, and the other letters are standing for something like you need to get permission, or you need to, fit some other rules. So A is like easy, okay, you don't have to ask for any more permission. So I'm going to read off the stuff that you can do with this property that is accepted by the county under their guidelines. I'm not a lawyer or attorney telling you this. I'm just reading it from the county stuff, right? Okay. Basically, don't blame me if I'm wrong. But they say you can do crop production, horticulture, orchard, vineyard. That's approved. Animal keeping, it sounds like you need to get some more. It points you to some other rules. Livestock operations, it points you to some other rules. Pond is acceptable. You could put in a pond. Winery, lake, reservoir, that kind of stuff, you need to get more permissions. Composting operations, you need to get some more permissions. Hazardous waste, more permissions. Industrial use, you need more permissions. Recycling facilities, you need more permissions. Campground, you need to get you need to ask for more permission. Let me go to the ones that are approved. Guest housing, so you can do guest housing, accessory use or structure, so residential, so you could have a residential accessory structure. Accessory dwelling unit, you can do accessory dwelling units, and single dwellings. You could build a home on the property. You could build accessory dwelling unit or units to house friends, family, ranch workers, other whatever, rent it out. Retail, it's approved for 200 square foot or less. Farm stands. You could have a produce stand there, and you could sell your whatever you're growing, if you wanted. Service business. Let's see. Medical service, hospital. You need more permissions for that kind of stuff. You could have a residential care facility of 6 or fewer persons without any more permission. So if you had a residential care facility of 7 or more people, you'd have to start asking for permission. If you did a bed and breakfast, you'd have to ask for a little bit more permissions. What else is accepted? Accessory structures and uses. So you can build houses, you can build accessory structures, and you can do farming. If you're starting to keep animals for farming and business, you got to get more permission. So that's basically what they're saying. It's a lot like residential. You can build a house, and you could have accessory units on there that more people could live in for your like family compound, without the residential rules of how you have to build them, is my understanding. So let's go back to the website, ruralvacantland.com. I'm gonna transfer this. We got some pictures. Had a couple people stop by this property, get some pictures, and as soon as I click on them, they stop working. So here's some pictures of when there was some flowers. And this is the kind of cover that's on the ground. There's these rocks, like baseball sized to maybe basketball sized rocks laying around the property that look like they'd be good building material. I don't know the structural integrity of these rocks, how hard or soft they are, but I'm sure you could probably use them for building like retaining walls and sidewalks, and at least, but maybe foundations and actual structural walls, depending on how well those rocks hold up. Here's a picture of the power line. So it's a T-shaped power line that runs along, kind of skirts the edge of the property and maybe clips a corner of it. It's not right full on in the property. And here again, you can see the rocks along the, wish I could make this bigger. I don't know if it made it bigger. It just made it out of the way. So there's rocks along the side here of the road that people have plucked out of the road, and that looks like a good place to collect rocks too. I mean, you could definitely make a stone chimney at least, if not a stone patio, a stone something. You just got to use those rocks, right? I'm living in Southern California, and it's all sandstone around here. There's no rocks. If I want to get rocks for my yard or get rocks for a project or something, basically I have to buy them or try to go steal them off the beach without people getting mad at you. Here's another shot of the road. And so I think it's healthy to see these rocks sitting around. And it's building supplies, right? Go build. Just add water and mortar. Bunch of rocks. So here's a view out over the area. And so it's some scattered bush, and rolling hills. More scattered bush, rolling hills, some yucca plants, some different kinds of plants. Another view of the power lines. Here's some more of the rocks on the side of the road. Some different flowers and a view out over the valley. Yeah, so here's a shot of going up the hill. So here's a shot of what that hill looks like. And I think people like to off-road this route. So it goes back up into the mountains and goes exploring all over the place. So you probably get some people driving through here, but not much. I mean, this is a pretty country road. There's a shot. So there's a shot of the valley, the hill off to the side. And there's a lot of government land around this property, not straight adjacent to it, but a couple properties over, and these trails lead over there. And it's BLM land, so you can ride horses on it, you can camp on it, and go explore and have fun on that land. If you look up BLM land, there's a website, it's called wilderness.net, I believe it is. It maps it all out. So here's a picture I had in the background. The turnoff going up to the property. Here's a turnoff off of the highway area. Here's a marker, corner marker, section marker that's out there. Yeah, so here's a shot from the property looking out over the area. It's just big, open, vast wilderness that's relatively close to Los Angeles and Las Vegas. So you're halfway between Los Angeles and Las Vegas. You can go shoot your guns out here. This looks like a fun spot to throw trap, throw trap, go skeet shooting. A couple cactus down here, some different flowers, and more of these rocks. Could really get creative with the rocks. Ord Mountain. So here's a view of the turnoff. Some plants that were going on in the area. Some cactus, some more plants. Yeah, so I think we've gone in a circle. So there's the property. There's a bunch of pictures. We've got a buy it now link on the property. I think it's just it's asking for the whole thing. I'm going to change that. I think it should be like a $500 deposit to go hold the property, go make it happen. There's got longitude, latitude. So you could click on longitude, latitude. You click on that, and it'll give you driving directions of property. Go out there and take a look at the property, see if this is the right property for you. Elevation's about 2,800 feet. Some different information about property taxes, about $83 a year. And so I got this one through Title Shop. I think you should, if you want to buy it, we could put it back through the Title Shop. They can do the paperwork, and just let me know. Let me know if you want to go for it. This is Luke Smith of ruralvacantland.com. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Talk to you again soon. Bye.